I'm Batman.
Howdy, howdy,
Hello.
and welcome to But It Was Aliens, the extraterrestrial comedy podcast where we probe paranormal activity to determine whether that activity really was paranormal.
Because we are the law.
Each week, the co-host has no idea what's coming up, and taking his turn as co-host this week is Mr. Granville Moonwalker. That means that this week, I'm your host, and my name is Kev, the averagely heighted one. Today, we are heading to Southern Asia, my friends, as we probe something unknown.
Average height of what population of where? Average height of giants?
Yes, exactly that, allegedly.
Truthfully. 7 foot tall. Kevin.
The large. I'm even doing it to myself now, see? Let's move on. I've got some historical foundations to lay before we really get into it today. Around 260 before Common Era.
I love the fact that instead of just saying BC, you say before Common Era.
Yeah, because some people think it's BC and they get confused. I'm inclusive. So 260 BCE, the third Indian Subcontinent Mauryan Emperor Ashoka.
Mauryan. You are the Emperor.
Ashoka was known as a ruthless ruler. Ashoka had savagely battled for his throne after all. Some historical accounts suggest that Ashoka killed 99 of his brothers to claim the throne after his father's passing from illness.
99 brothers.
Daddy
Damn,
got
son.
it on, son. Whew. He had some big balls.
Imagine it was one wife. Was it one wife?
It's all in one night. Ashoka's grandfather, Chandragupta, and father, Bindusara, had both tried to subdue and conquer neighbouring independent kingdom, Kalinga, during their reigns. Ashoka, establishing his rule and allegedly truthfully intent on writing his name in the annals of history, decided to do what his predecessors could not, and completely conquer Kalinga. Between 262 and 261 BCE,
That's before Common Era.
about 8 years into Ashoka's reign, Ashoka did indeed go to war with Kalinga. This was a devastating war that would take around 250,000 lives. Remember, this was during the days when wars were fought on a field between royals and their few hundred followers and whatnot. So this was pound for pound one of the most devastating battles and wars, certainly in Indian history, if not world history.
I was about to say your math is clearly off here. Between royals and their few hundred followers, if 250,000.
That's what I'm saying. That's why this was a mad war.
Then it fucking dawned on me that I was being an idiot and read it wrong.
Kalinga was absolutely plundered and left in pieces. This terrible war had a huge impact upon Ashoka, who, after witnessing all this death and suffering, would dedicate his future life to Buddhism, peace, and wisdom. Ashoka ended his empire's military expansion in favour of peace, and years of prosperity followed. Ashoka came to realise that India held huge amounts of knowledge, and this knowledge, in the wrong hands, could be dangerous. Ashoka himself held much of this knowledge, and to share with others would no doubt lead to challenges to the Iron Throne, which a peaceful ruler could not allow. What can a leader of a huge civilization do to preserve both knowledge and safety in these circumstances? they can form a secret organisation. This organisation would be known as the 9 Unknown Men. Today, we are probing the 9 Unknown Men. I've covered a lot of history there very quickly.
Have. What I would like to say...
Are you ready to get into 9 Men?
Is... Did he have to battle Khaleesi for the Iron Throne? We didn't, because Jon Snow ended that. So who did he have to fight for the Iron Throne?
The whole of Kalinga.
And he won. It's an uncomfortable throne, though. Or it looks uncomfortable.
It looks very uncomfortable. You don't know where those swords are poking.
We're probing the 9 Unknown Men.
Yes.
Are there actually 9, or is that just their name to kind of throw everyone off?
That would be quite the clever thing to do, wouldn't it?
There's not 9 of
unknown.
them. There's like 15.
Yeah. So when people think they've got them all, that knowledge survives. No, there's 9. There's actually 8.
Everyone's out searching for that last one.
There's actually none. It's just Ashoka.
So they're called the 9 Unknown Men.
Mm-hmm.
Are they called the Unknown Men because we don't know who they are?
Yes.
Or
we can't know who they are, for it would be too dangerous.
I had something in my brain there and it just went pretty much like that.
Poof. No, it's gone, isn't it?
It really has.
I'm just going to roll on then. Ashoka identified the most important subjects in the world, and to manage the secrets of these topics, Ashoka needed the 9. To form the 9, Ashoka would search high and low for India's most brilliant brains in each subject area. These miraculous minds would be tasked to amass further knowledge in their specific field, and they, only they, would be allowed to develop theory and technology in these areas, for Ashoka feared that ordinary men could not be trusted and would utilise this information for the destruction of mankind. He's broken in half! 9 is important because there were 9 celestial influences and 9 fundamental elements. The 9 were sent out into the world disguised as Buddhist monks to enhance their knowledge without threat, because who would attack a monk, right? And when humanity was ready, to gradually leak secrets to advance humanity. To fulfill this goal and amass yet protect knowledge, each of the 9 unknown men was given one task: to develop a book. A book held only by the 9 unknown, outlining secrets in the 9 specific important areas of world knowledge. When a member of the 9 passed away, a new member would be called to take their place, taking on this knowledge. I'm soon going to explain these books to you, dear listeners, and Granville, along with little tangents related to some of those books.
Right, I'm going to call bullshit right now.
We haven't even got into it. All I've given you is the truth so far.
You've given me 9 celestial influencers. We all know that influencers talk shit.
Even celestial?
I'm out.
All right, bugger off then. Me and the listeners will take this one home.
Cool. I'm going home. I'm going home, guys.
You're knocking on the table. You're clearly not going home. Car starts up. I just hear out the window, I'm going home, guys. You call me up on the phone. I'm going home. Please tell me you're not checking the score in the middle of the podcast. Are you sending me a message saying, I'm going home, guys?
I'm going home, guys.
Really? Oh.
That was actually Steed's revenge when it got a new exhaust. It's not Steed's vengeance.
It's not Steed's overcompensation. Book 1.
I'm short. I've got a best friend that's like 7 foot plus. I need to have something to stand out, so I bought a nice car.
7'5", son.
Damn. I only thought you were 7'2".
Book 1. Propaganda.
Oh, hi, everyone. I'm back.
Forgot you'd left. This book is believed to contain the secrets of psychological warfare, along with how to gain control over the world. Tangent 1. Can you guess who tried to and allegedly did get their hands on at least part of this manuscript?
Is it someone that we've covered before?
Yes.
Right.
Someone that we've covered on a side probe.
Several, right. Considering it's kind of world conquering and world, like, I was going to say devastation. It's not devastation.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with Father Crespi.
Okay, if you'd like to...
Was it found in Father Crespi's belongings?
Amongst his gold plates,
yeah.
There was the Nine Unknowns Book of Propaganda. If you'd like to flick over the research notes. It basically was Father Crespi.
Father Crespi. In waist-high shorts. Oh, those shorts are high.
And long-time listeners of the show know who we're talking about when we say Father Crespi.
Indeed. And for those that don't know, that would be Hitler himself.
Oh, should have kept a secret.
Cut that out then.
Snippy, snippy. Choppy, choppy, pee-pee. The person who saw the Book of Propaganda was indeed Adolf Hitler. Hitler, allegedly, truthfully, learned of the existence of the propaganda manuscript and sought them out. This is allegedly, truthfully, one of the main reasons Hitler sent his forces to Tibet and, yes, India, which we have mentioned a few times on the podcast and may one day probe more fully. Some ever so slightly less mainstream accounts do indeed claim that Nazis found parts of the propaganda manuscript which contributed to the manipulation of the German people. Indian mystic Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh has even claimed that the Nine were behind both the Nazis' rise and their fall, possibly to bring about technological advancements in the world, which, if you ask me, is a little bit messed up because a lot of people died for that.
So what they're saying is they used them to advance technology, and then
which is kind
ended
of their...
them because of what they were doing.
I guess so. If you remember, their original goal was to sit on the knowledge and learn more about it until such time that the world was ready for it. So maybe they thought the world was ready for it, then realised, shit, we dropped the ball here, guys. Let's off these people.
The world is never ready for stuff like that.
No, we are a horrible species, as we've covered many times on the podcast. You cannot trust us with anything.
So any huge technological advancement
Potentially
in the world
mm-hmm.
is not reverse engineered alien technology, but powers of the Nine.
The Nine. So we're talking computers, mobile phones, Nike Airs.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
9 powers.
The Nine. They're the people above the people.
What would you do if you got hold of one of those books?
Read it and sit on the knowledge until such time that the world was ready for it.
Kevin the Giant is one of the 9.
I am a monk.
That's why he's got a grey beard. Been studying.
Aren't monks usually stereotypically completely bald? Although
just
saying
bald heads, I think. Which you nearly have. You're on your way.
Do you know what? I started cutting my hair off in lockdown just because it was easier. Now I can't be asked to do anything with it. I mean, I've barely got any hair at the best of times.
I started growing mine.
We went the opposite way, end of the spectrum.
Now I have more hair than I've ever had.
I occasionally let my beard grow, but since you started manifesting grey hairs in it. Anyhow, next up is communication.
Something we're really good at.
Standard topic, you may think. This is the 9 though, people, so of course this book covers communication with terrestrial and extraterrestrial beings. Yes, the 9 know of and can communicate with aliens and Earth creatures. The next book covers physiology. You've probably learnt by now that these books aren't the standard variety you'd find in the library, unless you go to the forbidden section. Physiology covers not just the human body, but how to kill a person with a single touch. Yes, the famous touch of death, which worked through reversing a nerve impulse. You may think that this is bullshit, but we do know that it is possible to alter the beat of a heart via heart massage or by a particularly powerful strike. Science! Ancient and elusive wandering Chinese martial art, Dim Mak, focuses on pressure points. This physiology information leaked and went on to form the basis of judo. Microbiology was a topic of the 9 and covered biotechnology and vaccinations. Tangent. Alexandra Emile Jean Yersin famously co-discovered the bacteria responsible for the bubonic plague. What is perhaps less famously known is that Alexandre travelled to Madras in India, and can you guess who Alexandre met there? The 9 unknown, of course, and they would introduce Alexandre to an immunotoxin utilised as a treatment for cholera. The 9 share knowledge when humanity is ready. Tangent. The holy river Ganges infects millions of people taking a dip in it yearly, with 3 million litres of sewage released into it daily. The 9 have, allegedly truthfully, created a secret temple that generates radiation in the river in order to keep it pure. Because I'm not a 9, I don't have the science on that bit. This microbiology book also outlined the creation of a divine nectar which may have enabled the 9 to survive for more than 2,000 years. Are they invincible?
No. I'm going to say no because if one dies, another takes their place. So no.
Well, I didn't say invulnerable.
Fair enough. Now, you mentioned Dim Mak or Dim Muck. Can you imagine if you went up against someone that was trained in Dim Muck?
Like Kill Bill.
But your heart was on the other side of your body?
You were born with a defect that weirdly both put your life at risk yet saved your life.
Yep.
This mother trucker opposite you is tapping where your heart should be with 2 fingers like flip, flip, flip.
You just look at them. You just give them a Glasgow kiss.
Grab them and nut them in the face. That's not my heart. Shit, shouldn't have said that.
The fuck are you doing? Bang. Headbutt. Anyway, that's enough fun with that. So they can communicate with terrestrials and extraterrestrials. If these people are human, I'm not surprised they can communicate with terrestrials. I am surprised they can communicate with extraterrestrials.
Well, when I say terrestrials, I'm not just talking humans. These mother truckers can communicate with whales, dolphins, ants.
I want to be one of the 9.
Terrestrial beings. This
How
is
do
like
I apply?
Dr. Dolittle on crack.
How do I apply?
You don't. You're chosen.
How do I get chosen?
You have to live a life of purity.
I have done.
Impurity. Dirty little bitch.
Can you imagine if tomorrow I just disappeared? I'm one of the 9.
You're wandering with your hair shaved. I go on a cross-country trip and I just see you walking along the side of the road with one of those string bags over your shoulder in a monk gown. Son, what are you doing?
Hello, my brother.
I would like to drink some tea with you, for it has been a while.
Where have you been? That is not important. Let us drink.
And I shall tell you of propaganda. Shit, I got the wrong one.
Like, you may have heard of the 9. It's the last conversation we had.
Then I start talking to a kangaroo over the other side of the road. Shit, he's got the power I wanted. My brother. Hit me in the heart.
Trade powers with me.
My power is the best.
Be like Sylar from Heroes.
Man, season 1 of Heroes was phenomenal. I wish they kept that up.
It was.
Save the cheerleader, save the world, son. The 9 Unknown created a book called Vaimanika Shastra, aka Science of Aeronautics, which reportedly outlines vehicles of flight around 1918. When I say flight, I'm talking interstellar.
The film?
Did the 9 actually develop spaceflight in ancient India, though? It's certainly rumoured. The Gravity book unsurprisingly reveals the secrets of gravity, including how to construct a specific anti-gravity vehicle. You see, Laghima, otherwise known as the absence of weight, is a physiological phenomenon enabling humans to defy gravity. The 9, of course, held this knowledge, possibly from the aliens. It is rumoured that the 9's book on anti-gravity was uncovered in Tibet and seized by China, who may or may not be behind some of the anti-gravity tic-tac UFOs seen in the world today. The 9 understand gravity better than those pricks over at CERN. Cosmology is a 9 book which covers the universe's concerns such as planetary alignments. I have nothing further on this one, it's a science book. Alchemy, as is semi-well known, covers turning any metal into gold. The 9 have this ability, but they stand for world knowledge, not profit, so they don't give gold to everyone.
I love gold!
Father Crispy and all his plates. It's just turning every plate
Damn.
into gold.
And he was giving that gold away, wasn't he?
Or that they were supposedly giving it to him.
Oh, yeah.
All the villagers were giving it to Crispy. We know what the truth is, Crispy. Stockpiling your alchemy shit. Do you know what? Of all the 9 we've covered so far, you'd be pretty gutted if you were Cosmology, wouldn't you? All the others get these wonderful powers.
That would depend.
You just understand why the planets move.
Yeah, that'd be the worst.
I mean, even with other passive ones like propaganda, you can use that to your advantage and manipulate people. Gravity, you can become a magician, float around like you're Magneto.
I was just trying to think if aligning... Would you have the power to align planets yourself, or would you just know how they align?
I believe it's that you understand why they move the way they do, why they're aligned, how they are and whatnot, so you can look up at the sky and be like, yeah, I get why Mercury's going around the sun. Do you know what I mean?
I see why it's in retrograde.
Like, no, they're not circling the Earth. We're circling the sun. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the shittest. I mean, you're clever, but you're not fun.
But you can't tap someone's heart and take a life. My brother.
Watch this neat trick. Knock someone out.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Don't worry. Squeeze their big toe and they come back to life.
Hey.
And for my next trick, I'm going to turn this guy into a monkey. Starts acting like a monkey. Like swinging around like
He hit the monkey nerve.
Starts throwing feces. How'd you get him back? Oh, he's gone now.
Can't reverse that one.
He is lost to the world.
My brother, he is now a monkey.
This is the story of Tarzan.
I enlighten you with knowledge. Book 8 is Light, covering light's properties, speed, and how to utilize light as a weapon.
Blind motherfuckers.
The 9 can manipulate light. They can bend light. Lightsabers, anybody? If you're looking for a 9 and shine a torch on them, good luck. The 9 can bend that bad boy around themselves. The last book of the 9 is Sociology. A bit of a bland final book, you may think, but have I taught you nothing? This book outlines not just society's progress, but the rules of human growth, and most dangerously, the book maps tools to predict and to even bring about society's destruction. How to kill entire civilizations.
Give them TikTok.
Give them social media in general. The world was such a better place in some ways before social media. I was going to make a bold statement there, but then I thought there's also some atrocities that we've kind of grown from as well.
Yeah. I mean, it has its place. Like anything, you have the good and the bad with it. There are some funny videos, aren't there?
Yeah, but even then, people just sit on their phones looking at videos and scrolling all night, every night. Like, no wonder so many more people suffer with difficulties these days. I don't think it's good for folks psychologically. I'm not going to preach, but children were happier. Like when you were 6, you were happier playing, kicking a football around, playing with your toys with friends and whatnot. Now you see kids in restaurants sitting there scrolling on their bloody Facebooks and stuff. I'm pretty sure you're not even supposed to have a Facebook until you're like 13.
My kids aren't going to be allowed technology. They're going to grow up like the Flintstones.
Mine.
Bam, bam.
Yours are going to be thugs, is basically what you're saying. Going to walk around death touching people.
Maybe.
Judo chop!
Might get them into sport early. Rugby.
Yeah.
And they can be rugby thugs.
I'm going to go and post on social media about this conversation.
Can you remember the conversation we had about... we had some kind of conversation. I had to do something or didn't do something, but I said I'd do it if you called your firstborn...
You said...
Elvis?
You would call your firstborn Captain Jism if I called my firstborn Elton.
That's it.
I feel like I got the better side of the deal there. And I've saved that screenshot. I've still got it today.
I've still got it.
Yeah.
Because I think I said I'd fuck my kid's life up for a joke. So get ready to name your kid Elton.
All right, Captain Jism. We didn't clarify though. Is the first name Captain Jism, or is Captain the first name, Jism's the middle name?
Who cares?
Oh, it's the first name for both then. Double-barreled Captain Jism.
Done.
You heard it right here, folks. There's no going back.
Captain Jism Walker. And Elton.
Why is Elton funny? Honourable and trustworthy Elton. How do we know about the 9? In 1923, well, yeah, I told you. that's that section ended. Let's move on. In 1923, English writer Talbot Mundy published his own book inspired by this legend, The 9 Unknown Men. Talbot worked as a police officer in India for 5 years from 1899, and during this time completed much research. Talbot heard whispers from the underground, and utilising the very words of Ashoka through Ashoka's self-penned manuscripts left on pillars around the Indian subcontinent, Talbot was able to compile the list of those 9 subject fields to which the 9 unknown men were appointed. I'll just add, those pillars are legit and huge, with Ashoka's musings scribbled across them. Palm leaves have also been recovered as outlined in a 1931 book in the southern Indian village of Karnataka, containing extracts of scientific discoveries as overseen by the 9. These discoveries include creating solar-powered machinery, planetary alignments, light waves, details of electromagnetic fields, and most shockingly, that communication with aliens. And I've just shown you one of those pillars as,
That
like
you
I
have?
say, yep, those are real. They're covered in Ashoka's writings.
I mean, it's quite hard. Well, I say it's quite hard to see really how tall that thing is. But what you need is a person standing next to it so you can grasp the height of it.
Yeah, I think they're upwards of kind of 10 foot, 15 foot, but don't quote me on that. As always, I did research this one quite a while ago.
And I am seeing a pillar with what looks like a dog sitting on the top of it, being a good boy.
He's a good boy.
In statue form, but you cannot see any writings on it.
If I were to have given you a zoomed in picture, you can see there's scribblings all around the bottom area of it, but I was just showing you this picture to show you that they exist. I didn't think you were going to question the fact that the writing exists if I show you that the thing exists itself. I thought that would be enough for you. I thought it would.
But it's not.
But you're a fuzzy little piss pot.
Who's a fuzzy little piss pot? That would be me. Huh. So
yeah, information hidden in India for millenniums.
I was going to say, what made the 9 special apart from
they knew shit
just
other
being
people didn't.
Good at their subject?
Well, that is what made them special. They were world experts in each subject, knowing things that no one else in the world knew.
But how do they know that nobody else in the world knew them?
I was going to get onto that myself here, but I can't remember if I talk about it later in the episode, because I definitely thought this when I was writing this one. But to have all this knowledge, they've all got it from Ashoka. So Ashoka themselves is a dangerous mother trucker.
Could have made half this shit up.
He's just having a laugh. He's going to create like a millenniums long practical joke where 9 people in every generation have their lives ruined wandering the streets trying to keep some bullshit knowledge protected. I can talk to cows.
It's just his musings. He's like, I'm going to see if I can get people to protect this for as long as possible, knowing it's all bullshit, and I'm just going to laugh.
But then saying that, we were talking about like solar-powered machinery and shit. Remember, we've covered how an electrical charge is developed in the Great Pyramids, for example. It's quite possible that this technology was there back in the day in ancient India.
So if these 9 are the smartest people in the world, let's say.
Yes.
The smartest 9, and they got all their intelligence from him.
Mm-hmm.
What made him the smartest person in the world?
That is a good question. Now, was this just like a huge academic genius kind of person who went around studying all of his enemies before he conquered them and learned everything there was to know? Or was this mother trucker speaking to aliens direct and that's where he got the knowledge from? It's the only book that was real. And he kept that one for himself. He was the 9th man.
He was the 10th.
The one they'll never know about. In 1960... claims of the 9 unknown men were further supported by Jacques Bergier and Louis Pauwels. Jacques and Louis uncovered Pope Sylvester II's own words. It's time to discover what the 9 unknown men could really, really do. I didn't know which book to include this little tangent within, so we are covering it now. Before he became Pope Sylvester II in the year 999, and I'm just going to say strap in, son, earlier in the 10th century Common Era, the future Pope, then named Gerbert, took a mysterious pilgrimage to India. During this trip, Gerbert encountered at least one, but in some accounts, the 9 unknown, whom taught Gerbert some wondrous abilities. Hidden knowledge, if you will. One such ability was to make a bronze head which could answer yes and no questions, but yes and no questions only. This story is told somewhat similarly in the works of English monk William of Malmesbury, among others, who reiterate that the Pope, then Gerbert, came into possession of a book of spells, a book of the 9. The account goes on to state that the devil was attracted to the book of the 9 and Gerbert Sylvester was told by the devil that he would die if he attended mass inside Jerusalem. Gerbert henceforth cancelled trips to Jerusalem, but the devil is cunning. One day, Gerbert attended mass in a Roman church. Sylvester fell ill. It turns out that church's name was the Holy Cross of Jerusalem. Sylvester had attended Mass in Jerusalem. Sylvester is credited with having created the decimal system and mechanical clocks, knowledge ahead of time. When Gerbert, later Pope Sylvester II, passed away, those creations remained, but the bronze head was destroyed to prevent the world's secrets falling into the wrong hands. Shit got wild.
Shit got very wild. Was this story of him and the devil made after he had passed? Or was this knowledge before he visited the Holy Cross of Jerusalem?
Well, they couldn't have written that he died before he died.
No, but they could have written the prophecy that if he goes into said church or goes and attends Mass in Jerusalem, he would die. Or they could have just made it afterwards to, like, scaremonger.
So supposedly the word was written around the time of the Pope, but this is claimed by, as I said, these two researchers, Jacques and Louis, in the 60s.
Okay, and you've shown a picture of the devil here with the Pope?
Yep, with Gerbert/Sylvester. Kind of an old-timey document.
He's got a lot of faces, the devil. He's got one on his ass.
Yeah, he's got a butt face. Strange looking mother trucker.
I've never heard of the devil having faces over his body.
I've seen similar imagery before. Not necessarily on the knees, but I have seen depictions of a similar nature.
Is it depicted that way because the devil apparently has many faces?
Possibly. I don't know. I can't say I've ever researched it. May well be. Or maybe that's just because he's a freaky looking bugger. Maybe they're souls that are within the devil. I don't know. But the one on his arse looks like it is giving a little puff of fire or something. Either that or spitting out some blood, which is pretty horrific considering the position. What would you have asked the bronze head of foresight?
I can only ask yes or questions that will have a yes and no answer.
Answer this question in any way if you fancy me.
I would probably ask specific questions to find the locations of the 9 and to see if I can attain their powers.
That's going to take a long time.
So?
Are any of the 9...
I've got time. He's got powers. I want powers.
You're sitting there with a globe, just reeling off country by country in order till you've got a country.
I can just say, are they in this half of the hemisphere?
Is this where the power is that the person can speak to animals? That's all you really want to know.
Can I obtain this power?
No.
Damn.
Is there a way I can make myself obtain this power? No.
Is there a power I can obtain which is as cool as this power?
Is it possible you could be wrong?
Yes. Awesome. Let's go.
What do you reckon the head did if you asked it a question other than a yes or no question? Like, what's 16 minus 3?
I think it would just...
it's like,
just be still.
Screw
like
you!
A statue.
The head explodes, you ruin it for everyone. This case has obviously been mind-blowing, but can we disprove anything detailed in this episode? Looking at the Vaimanika Shastra, most academics studying the text have concluded that the vehicles outlined would not be aerodynamic and absolutely could not fly. I suppose the counter-argument there is that we can't prove that the book was specifically created by the 9 unknown because they're unknown. They're hardly going to stick their name on a book. But it's slightly damning, and on that note, if one book of the 9 is false, this may imply that the story itself is false. It doesn't seem scientifically possible to turn any metal into gold, and if the touch of death was absolutely real, I just can't buy into that not being more widely known, really. Someone's gonna know about that, aren't they?
Could even be done on accident.
Yeah, someone does it by accident, like, hold on. Dad, come here. Let me try something. Oh, shit. Mum, come here. Talbot Mundy's account
Doesn't work because her organs are on the wrong side. Just tickle her.
Then she busts it out on the child. I am one of the unknown. Brother. Talbot Mundy's account is a story. I'm also not sure how some random British bloke could uncover in a few years what has stayed hidden by native folks for millennium. Accounts also suggest the 9 wonder the world, so why would they be so concentrated only around India? But Pope Sylvester II, aka Gerbert, though, is completely legitimate. And you can even check Wikipedia, the fountain of all knowledge, where you'll find that Sylvester was a noted scientist. 9!
They say that the anti-gravity vehicles wouldn't work.
But have they made them?
That would be if they were using human technology. Does the book state exactly how to create them? Or does it just show you the shape and like it flying?
Good question.
Does it tell you what materials to use?
Maybe they use some sort of element we haven't yet got our hands on or learn how to utilise.
Exactly.
9!
There's a lot of advances in like vehicles. So
yeah.
Cars nowadays, some of them look like they really shouldn't be high tech. If you look at the outside design of it, like there are some cars in the 50s and 60s that look absolutely incredible.
Yeah, like that car from Back to the Future. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent point here. Sorry?
The DeLorean.
Yeah, if you look at a DeLorean from the outside, that shit looks space aged. But if you get on the inside of it, that is not space aged. Whereas if you look at like a Toyota Prius from the outside, that shit looks shit. Yeah. You get in it and they're all electric and massive screens and shit. It's like from another era.
Like if you compare, like you said, a Prius to a 1967 Shelby GT 500.
Here we go.
Then they're two worlds apart. And the Shelby GT will always be better than the Prius.
So I feel like the Shelby GT is like your I Love Gold moment. Shelby GT.
For those of you that are unaware, if you own a Shelby GT 500 or you would like to get me a 1967 Shelby GT, I would trade both of Kevin the Tool's balls for it.
I ain't got any.
It's because I have them in a jar waiting
ready to trade.
to be traded.
Certainly sounds like...
You woke up one day and they were gone.
Sounds like propaganda to me.
I have them.
My brother.
Let's trade.
I flick you here and your balls fall off.
So yeah, I'm ready to trade.
Not happening. In summary, we've covered 3rd Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, who after conquering neighbouring independent kingdom Kalinga around 261 BCE, turned his life around as he focused on peace and wisdom with nobody left to conquer. Ashoka held much knowledge, powerful and dangerous knowledge. Knowledge too dangerous to be held by any other person. To protect and also to preserve this knowledge, Ashoka would form the 9 Unknown Men, one of, if not the world's oldest secret society, at more than 2,200 years old at time of recording. Hello, future people. We didn't touch on this, by the way, but it's just occurred to me. Why has it got to be unknown men? Why not unknown people?
Because they didn't give a shit back then.
Each of the 9 was tasked...
Whoa. What if that's part of the subterfuge?
So they're all...
women.
Not men. They're not men. There's 12 and they're not men.
Everyone's looking around for 9 men. 7 of them are dogs. 3 are cats. There's 1 giraffe. There's an antelope.
Each of the 9/15 was tasked with writing a book on their specialist field of knowledge. These books would be continually updated as knowledge grew, and if and when a member of the 9 could no longer continue due to age or death, for example, a new brilliant mind was called in to take their place. This society would be forever. The 9 also may be immortal. It's like Highlander.
Do you think I can't remember what year it was, but there was an octopus that selected the winners of football games before that happened.
One of the 9.
One of the 9.
Absolutely. The 9, aka 15 animals. The 9 books covered propaganda, communication, physiology, microbiology, gravity, cosmology, alchemy, light, and sociology. These books cover such wondrous abilities as communicating with aliens, manipulating light, defying gravity, and the touch of death. We discovered that Hitler and the Nazis sought and may even have acquired the Book of Propaganda. We learnt about Gerbert, aka Pope Sylvester II, who acquired a magical book of the 9 and created a fortune-telling bronze head, along with other technological advancements. We learnt about the 9's role in curing cholera and maybe other diseases. We know about the unknown due to several accounts, including Talbot Mundy, who worked in India for 5 years and heard whispers of the existence of the 9 before studying Ashoka's poles. Talbot's account was originally a story, though. Anything you want to add, Mr. Moonwalker?
No, I am down. The 9 existed, and one of them's an octopus.
And 7 of them were dogs.
There's a giraffe.
3 cats.
The 9 weren't actually 9, there was more. And they weren't men.
They were animals.
Yep.
Who had all the knowledge in the world, but it was trapped in their own forms of communication.
Not
One was
necessarily
a horse.
trapped.
Horse was like, nay.
What if they can communicate telepathically?
With each other only.
Yep. Or, just like the octopus predicts the future, maybe we're not smart enough to read what they're saying.
Maybe they can perceive, other dimensions and see the way vibrations are heading.
They say that when a disaster is meant to strike,
Mothman appears!
Animals are the first ones to flee the scene. They've been warned by the 9.
They are the 9. 34 pigeons.
52 antelope.
So are you saying...
Lions get their knowledge because...
they're kings of the jungle?
They eat the antelope, and when we die, we become the grass, and the antelope eat the grass. That's the circle of life. So that's how the Book of the 9 just keeps going round and round in like...
And we've circled back to Elton.
5 generations. You've got to name your kid Elton.
All right, Captain Jism.
Done.
So yeah, are you saying in a roundabout way that this was aliens, as they did talk to aliens, but ultimately are the unknown real?
If I have a girl and I name her Captain Jism, she is going to both hate me and my other half is probably not going to allow it. But I will do exactly what that person done who named his kid Lenazra, which was just Arsenal backwards because he was a huge Arsenal fan. I will just quickly get on the birth certificate and just write it in. Captain Jism.
No.
I'm sorry, what was what was the question?
We're only concluding the episode.
What was it? Aliens? No. It was octopi.
So are the 9
Was
real?
animal.
The unknown? They're kind of a known now, aren't they?
They are known. They're not. I suppose they're known and they're unknown. The fact that they exist is known. Who they are is unknown, so they can go on about their business absolutely fine. Do I believe they are real? No.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it was aliens / wandering monks / a secret society. This has been another one I've enjoyed researching, but whilst it perhaps is more believable in some ways than the bulk of our episodes, a human secret society, I struggle to get on board with the capabilities detailed within the books of the Nine. Show me the death touch. Until then, sadly, I am out, though I do love the idea of wandering monks containing secrets that could enhance or destroy the world. Any final thoughts before we close, Mr. Moonwalker?
None off the top of the dome.
Then that is a wrap for today. Thank you for listening to But It Was Aliens. If you enjoy the show and you'd like to support us, there are a number of ways that you can do that. That number is 2.5. You can purchase merchandise from our website over at butitwasaliens.co.uk, which helps us to purchase costumes to confuse those pesky MIBs. It was Granville in the gimp suit. Or you can head on over to patreon.com/butitwasaliens and sign up to become a side prober. This gives you access to the side probes, exclusive probes to Proby for the main show. We really go to town on these episodes. They will not be heard by anyone outside of Extraterrestrial Towers. What goes down in the side probes stays in the side probes and will probably one day ruin our careers. If you have any suggestions for future episodes, you can hit us up on the artist formerly known as the Twitter. At But It Was Aliens. Or should we call it X-Twitter?
You can hit us up on the X Twitter. Twitter X.
On the Twitter. Twix. That is all that we'll be covering today, so until next time, if you describe something as indescribable, is it?
No.
The truth is up there. #.
The Nine are octopi.
What sort of a sound does an octopus make?
I'm an octopus.
All right.
Scouse.
All right.
I'll fucking shank you.
Look how many arms I've got.
And allow